We're tied by the Yankees in this series. Let's talk about it. Let's talk Yanks.
Woo! Talking Yanks with old John Boy, Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steaming hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today on the first series recap episode of the season. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. BBD is in the corner. It's brought to you by SeatGeek. It's March 30th. The Yankees have 3 wins, 0 losses. Other winners are our most recent Substack subscribers, Gary Prince, Mandy Leon, and Alejandro Hess. If you are interested in exclusive content or discounts to our merch or early access to events, you can go to johnboymedia.com and sign up for our Substack. Joe's is doing a ton of exclusive content. There's a exclusive video every weekday at 9 a.m. and then some behind-the-scenes content every weekday at 3 p.m. Jake, how are you doing?
James, Davis, everyone tuning in, welcome back, and what a way to do it. Really torpedoed the Brewers. Come on. Come on.
So many people clicked in just to see what we're going to say about the bats.
I think those bats should be illegal.
Mark.
I think they should be illegal.
Skip to the 40-minute mark, 40-minute, 35 seconds. That's when bat talk starts. Just timestamp it in the comments for everyone. If everyone in the comments could just timestamp that for the people that are just coming for bat talk, 40 minutes, 35 seconds, timestamp it.
It's, hey, you dream of I had a weird, today was the first day since September that I was like, would love a recording day win, The Yankees come out and they do a special Saturday. People are calling that 40 minutes, 38 second mark. But I don't know. I had that moment and we're back and we're recording. Sundays are back on. Glad to have everyone back with us. And what do we just rock the Brewers, pa? How are you doing?
They score a lot of runs against the Brewers a lot lately.
And they helped with the Judge home run chase. The Brewers have been very friendly to the Yankees in recent years. So shout out to our good friends from Milwaukee.
Thank you to them. If you don't know, you've never listened to a recap episode. Maybe you tuned in just for the World Series and you're still here. Right. We're going to burn the games. Jake's going to burn the games. And then we'll talk about any of the game decisions. Not really player news, but moments of the game, managerial decisions.
Lineups.
In the second half of the show, we'll give away our Pride of the Yankees, our Yankee MFer, and we each get to give 2 random or regular old awards. Right. Sorry. And then we might be debuting a new segment that is tough in this first series, but we'll get more info as we go.
Yeah, a little bit of grounds creeping. I know that didn't get mentioned, and I know there's some days that's a big... I know we talked about this earlier, and you said sometimes the grounds creeping sneaks up on me, so I'm sorry for that.
No, Beeps crushed the notes on this one. I'm ready to go. Grounds creeping, but we just can't linger on grounds creeping that long this year because I thought last year some eps were just we were ground creepers.
Right.
You want me to deliver the grounds creeping?
Get into it.
It's brought to you by SeatGeek.
Okay.
You got that info?
Oh, I have the SeatGeek info, Jim. It's Yanks 2025. You're going to save yourself 10% off. I thought it was 10% off at SeatGeek with code Yanks 2025. Go see them hit a bunch of home runs. Hey, do you like home runs?
Yes.
Go see the Yanks and save yourself 10% with code Yanks 2025. They're telling you could go to concerts and stuff. I'm sorry. It's Talkin' Yanks season. That's gone. We're going to the stadium. We might be going this week. Teaser. And I know a lot of people had a good time this weekend because the Yankees just hit homas. And if you want to see them, go to the Boogie Down Bronx. Use code Yanks 2025 or go to anything else that has a seat, even though I just downsold you on that. Yanks 2025, 10% off at SeatGeek.
None of the 15 home runs were hit by Giancarlo Stanton.
Right.
Because he's swinging a bat, but not during games. Still on the IL, taking some swings, progressing well. They say it's not anything. They're like it's back on track. Also, like a little like asterisk, which means then you go to the bottom of the page and you read the little asterisk. The torpedo bats are why Stanton has double elbow injury. That like sneaky made it. We'll talk about that at the 40-minute, 35-second mark. Also, Ian Hamilton started a rehab assignment on Saturday. Boone expects him back as soon as he is eligible. So it was really just the extra time needed. Clark Schmidt threw 40 pitches in a minor league spring game Tuesday, and Boone says Clark will pitch again Monday. We're still looking at a mid-April debut, so we're about 2 weeks or so for Clark to join the team. And DJ LeMahieu is doing baseball activities. Was not reported if the Yankees asked him to do that or not. Mm-hmm. That's your grounds creeping.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's talk the Yankees just set... This was a Yankees weekend. They swept them. They made historic marks. That's a bad way to say that. They made historic marks, and the league's all pissed off at them again. Let's go, Yanks.
Let's do it.
Boom.
I like him.
Oh. Opening day in the Bronx, grab a beer as the Brew Crew and Freddie Peralta would take on the defending American League champion Yankees. Noticeably missing was ace Garrett Allegra Cole as they'd switch it up to Carlos Rodon getting the pill. Bottom one. First ever Yankees leadoff catcher Austin Wells hits the first ever Yankees catcher leadoff homer. 1-0. How do you like that? Make it 2, the Chicken Parm brothers. Anthony, like a nice summer night. Volpe's chilling on the porch. My cousin Vinny Capra was the only blemish on Rodon's day. 5.1 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 7 Ks for Los. 2-1, it'd stay that way into the 7th. Judge doesn't homer, bummer, RBI double. Cody bellies up with a sac fly, 4-1 Yanks. Weave will rock you. Well, Weave did. Devin Williams almost took the air out of the stadium, but bended his way out of it. Rodon to Leiter to Hill to Weave to Williams. What fortitude by the Yankees as they win on opening day, 4-2.
Beautiful. And like you said, you should have bet that the final score would be fortitude.
It's dumb.
Because it was
so dumb.
We were all around it everywhere.
Because game one, they never go nuts. It's always a little too chilly, and it's just a gray day at the stadium. But they have to win 4-2. So that was a miss, but it's a long season.
It's a long season. Man, moments of this game. They had 2 cheap home runs, Yankee Stadium's shots. Who cares? That's where they're playing the games.
Right.
Wellesley, what's so interesting, Jake, is I said, in our like PPP or season preview, I was like, Wells just needs to quelch any concern about leadoff spot. Like, just don't make it a storyline. And obviously it can still become one, but to open up with a homer is not great. Now, why I say that's interesting is because he may have lost the job already due to history and torpedoes, but it was a hell of a way to start the year.
Yeah, the Wells Goldy thing, I think, can be a fun convo. But yeah, some of the Wells stuff is really cool, especially like catchers just straight up don't do this. I mean, there's some crazy numbers on our sheet, but sets that tone. I think it was a 2-0 heater to get it started. Welcome to opening day. I don't think this guy's getting talked about later, but I mean, 7th inning Mark Leiter. It's kind of one of those, we've gotten excited for the bullpen because Matt Blake has been so good, and we're excited for Weavewell that it was like, oh, this is a tight game and it's Mark Leiter time, but he looked great this whole series. And then Devin Williams with the scary 9th, but that's in the rear view.
Yeah, that's the biggest talking point, and the only other like managerial talking point would be that they do put Trent Grisham in and take Dominguez out of left field in a close game, and Bellinger moves to left, Trent plays center. Yeah. So just something that, they could have never done that. Like, I don't know. I would, if you asked me to guess, I would have said 50-50. They do it always, or they never do it. And now 2 out of 3 times. But this was the first time we saw that. We're like, oh, okay, so it is a thing.
Yeah, and
it makes sense. Put your best players on the field
right
at the end of the game.
And they talked about in the booth, I forget if it was Girardi or O'Neill, but they kind of alluded to that they wanted to get Dominguez through this first homestand with no errors or bad conversation points. And funny, in that last game, he has a little hey, how are you? But yeah, I mean, that's baseball teams do this. Baseball teams do this. So I think as the season rolls on, you'd like to see Dominguez. That doesn't become a conversation. But as we saw game 2, like Trent's in the starting lineup, he could be a part of the conversation as this season goes on, probably more than we've thought. But yeah, that's defensive replacements exist.
Hey, I have a question. Beebs,
Sure.
Do you know, we have it on our sheet here, right? How many at-bats or plate appearances has Trent Grisham had so far?
At bats?
7 plate appearances for Trent Grisham thus far, because he's gotten into every game. Last year, how long do you think it took him to get 7 plate appearances?
Ooh.
See what I was getting at?
Yeah, I see. I'd like to think they got him in the first 2 weeks, you know. I remember Jahmai Jones became like an, oh my God, are they going to play him? But I'd like
His
to think
7th came on April 13th,
Okay.
which was 14 games into the season.
Look at that.
They're going to use the bench this year. I kind of like it. Peraza, I mean, they're also winning big, but they weren't in this game, and they used Grisham. So he also tried to steal, thought he was fast because he came in the game, and then got thrown out. That was this game, right?
Yes, this was opening day. Yeah, that we kind of haven't seen a ton of that from Trent. We wondered when he originally came over. I don't know, a lot of Trent Grisham talk for game 1 when Judgy shows up. Wells was big. And hey, how about a great start by Carlos Rodon? 5.1, 1 earned run, 7 Ks.
Yep. And Tim Hill comes in with 2 on and gets out of it.
He always gets out of it. It's Tim Hill.
Tim Hill. How about it, dude?
Yeah.
Also, the Weave Dog. Didn't get to see him the rest of the series, so I just want to say right now, I like the Weave Dog, and I'd liked watching him pitch again.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad that the offense broke it open because maybe he comes into this final game, but then it was Fernando Cruz time.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which was nice.
Game 2, unexpected lineup leads to unexpected results.
Nice. That's really good.
That's the title of this, Burn. Let's see how you play off it.
Game 2 of 2025. It's out with the old, in with the new, as former Yankee southpaw Nestor Cortez would take on the new $200 million arm Max Fried on an 80-degree day in March. Bottom 1, feeling hot, hot, hot. 3 pitches, 3 homers. Goldy, Belly, Judge, oh my. Austin goes to the Wells once more. 4 homers in the first inning. It's 4-0 Yanks. The defense and Fried have a tough second inning to make it a 4-3 game, but the Yanks weren't done, including 5 more home runs. Volpe, you got it. Jazz, why not? Peraza, fuck you. And how about the captain? Chef Judgy for 3. 3-homer, 8 RBI day for the big man. Fried to Yogo to Hedrick to Cookies. Oh, Yanks win 20-9 final.
Man, that's a hard burn for you to do.
Yeah, that's the, I felt bad. I got a couple of the tweets that are like, oh, can't wait for this one. Just a reminder, if the Yankees score a lot of runs, it's hard to embody all of that. So I've gotten better. I've sandwiched some stuff together that I think that landed in a good place, but that was a whole deal.
It's tough. People also like you got to break it down. I'm like, that's a lot of footage. It's like a whole game of home runs. Like maybe the first 3 pitches, because that was insane. I'll peel the curtain back. Saturdays is my family day. I had to take the kids swimming. I thought the game started at 1:30. It started at 1:07. I got the Saturday and Sunday confused. So I get in the car at 1:20 after swimming ends. And I open my phone, and Wells hit the home run. And it's the 4th of the inning. I'm like, oh, shit.
Right.
Like, who hit the others? Because he's slid right down. And then I see that I missed 5 batters of the game.
Right.
and I missed everything. And I was like, Katie, sorry, this is like insane. And then I went back and watched the pitches, and I don't know if Nestor misses the Yankees or there was some agreement made. Like, if the next time the Yankees face Nestor, if they don't swing at the first 20 pitches, and maybe we look back at this and go some handshakes, because those first 3 pitches, Jake, had nothing.
Right.
Like, you're like, do they have a tip on Nestor? No. Yeah. Do they have anything? And those 3 guys, Judge isn't using the bat. Like, I think Goldy is. I don't know if Belly is. So 2 out of 3. These were nukes. Also, the wind was supposedly blowing out a ton because they were all gone anyway. But yeah, what a start to a game to miss.
Yeah, that Goldy one off the bat, you're wondering a little bit, just because we haven't seen a lot of Goldy, and I don't know, different days at the stadium to the deep part. You can see some different results there, but yeah, where that one landed, it was like, oh, okay. I don't know if that was Goldy, the stadium, or Nestor, but yeah, I mean, 3 straight pitches that, you know, we saw Nestor blossom into waiver wire lefty spot start guy, throw him in the bullpen, whatever, like a body, to all-star Nestor, competitive Nestor, gutsy Nestor. Under this body, there's an athlete Nestor. That, yeah, could I see some deal with the devil stuff that happened? That it's like, hey, if you're on the other side, this is how it's going to go. 3 pitches, 3 homers. I mean, that's hard to do in batting practice.
It's never happened in the history of the game.
So we thank him, and that's tough. I feel bad for Nestor and the people of Milwaukee, because there was he missed his presser after the game. He said it was a misunderstanding. He made up for it today and got in front of the mics. And that's just tough.
Was his hair still yellow?
When you dye your hair and that's your debut, and obviously I didn't have my pulse on Brewers spring training this year. That's on me. I'm trying to get better. But yeah, the booth today said they talked to the Brewers booth, and they were like, dude, Nestor was incredible in spring. Like, it was really exciting to have that happen. Hey, hopefully for Nestor, it's only up from there. And yeah, that sparked, coming from a lot of lineup discourse in the morning, in the afternoon, it turned into the cheating Yankees. So boom. But that's, I'd wait another 25 minutes or so. That's when we talk about it.
Yeah. The lineup is super interesting. Like, I wasn't terribly upset about it, really. I was just so surprised that it warranted like a reaction, so I posted mine. But I ended it with like, hey, it's game 2. Try some things out. Boone said he thought about it all off day.
Right. Dramatic.
And it was between Goldy and Volpe in the leadoff spot. They wanted a righty against the lefty. They went with Goldy. I knew that would flip Bellinger and Judge, right? Because you go righty, lefty, righty. I didn't know Jazz would now become cleanup and Wells not. I just thought the top 4 would say this, top 4. I think Jazz hits lefties better, or I don't know. But I that's probably the thinking. And then Volpe goes up ahead of Wells. So that's wild. In the 5 hole for Volpe. Reyes play third for Oswaldo. Pablo Reyes. And then they're leaning in. This is the biggest news of the whole thing for me. They're leaning into reverse splits Grisham.
Right.
Which we asked Boone a year ago, and he was like, nah, I don't believe in it. And then last year, they didn't lean into reverse splits Grisham at all. I think he's already got 2 hits versus lefties. So, like, if Grisham has a role now, that's kind of nice for Trent Grisham. If he's going to start versus lefties, get at bats versus lefties because he has had reverse splits his whole time, that's nice. Obviously, any lineup questions get discarded after they score 20 runs and hit a bajillion homers.
Right. And that's, yeah, the other, I had a couple buddies text me that actually, and this might surprise you, they weren't happy seeing Dominguez DHing, because they were like, well, if Dominguez is going to play left field, like, have him figure it out. But I think that was, A, they're doing the Trent thing, and B, Max Fried's first start, that I think they are also thinking, hey, let's get our best defense out there for Max. Like, let's get him on a nice path.
Yes. In our PPP, wasn't the stat that Max Fried led the league the last 2 years in ground balls to third base?
Yes.
So Pablo Reyes, you're not part of the Max Fried formula anymore. He just raised his hand and said sayonara to third base when Max Fried's out there. If there's any like topic that we need to talk about that's on the negative side, which I think awards are probably going to stay more positive because they swept, it is the defense in this game was so embarrassing. And that one inning in particular, and another slow roller from Sal Frelick, 2 games in a row, that Goldy and the pitcher just can't figure out. And he is fast, and it is tough. And then Volpe throws away a double play ball that he probably should have ate or just like make a decent throw.
Right.
Goldy can't get off the bag to stop Volpe's throw. Max Fried throws one away. Goldy gets off the bag to grab that one and then throws it to third, and the runners advance and score. And then Pablo Reyes and Jazz just straight boot ones a couple innings later.
Yeah, I think the fact that Volpe and Fried, like your two of your active Gold Glovers, that's kind of like, okay, again, torpedo bat, 20 runs. We'll put that in a rear view a little bit. Jazz, let's see. I mean, he looked pretty sharp at second with a lot of the hot shots and some of the plays he was making. Goldy, I wouldn't say there's even a yellow flag up yet, but we're coming off a veteran first baseman whose defense was sus. That
if I'm a lifeguard,
right,
I'm checking my bag to make sure I have yellow flags.
Okay.
It's not up.
Didn't know you were in a lifeguard chair.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
good.
in my lifeguard tower.
That's good.
And I'm looking down and being like, oh, I brought it today, right?
Right.
Because I'm not raising it, but
I'll save you a step with your flag bag. I would say if the Yankees infield is swimming, if I'm the lifeguard, I'm eyes are on the right side. Because
okay.
Pablo, like you said, I mean might have been a lost opportunity today or yesterday, and that's fine. But yeah, let's see what goes on with Goldy and the pitchers and covering first, because that got a little weird. And yeah, that's, I had a couple people responding that were like, hey, but the defense. And I was like, hey, and in the 20-9 game, I understand it. I understand what we've heard all offseason. It's game 2 after an off day. We put up a 20 burger. Like 2 of them were Pablo Reyes that I wouldn't say I'm driving the Pablo bus, but I got a good seat, I'm kind of that first seat when you walk on and people are like, not sitting there. I'm there. I think we're going to look back at that and laugh a little bit, along with the rest of the pitchers that came into this game.
Yeah. Hedrick, nice to meet you. Someone in the chat said, what do lifeguards do with yellow flags? They put them up as like a warning. Some beaches are like waist deep only. Red means you can't swim. Must be an inner city guy. Never been to the beach. Or like, I feel like the flag system's even more known than that. That's kind of like red light, green light to a degree.
Yeah, if you Google lifeguard flags, which I already had up, red, no swimming, which that'd be your assumption. Yellow, caution. Again, if you know the street light system or the SeatGeek system, same thing. There are interesting ones. There's a blue flag that's dangerous marine life.
Blue flag at my beach means bodyboarding zone.
2 red flags, very dangerous.
Yeah, I know that. Double red flag sucks, dude. That's like lifeguards sitting on the beach in a trench coat and no one else is there.
Right. No watercress. Yeah, how about that? Absence of flag does not assure safe water. Come on.
That just means no lifeguard.
That just means they forgot the flag.
Let's head to game 3.
Okay, I can see that. Yankees with their broomsticks and their thick boomsticks as they go for the sweep. Aaron Savale. Milwaukee hopes he's wonderful as Marcus would try to be the Stro man for the Yanks. Top 1 in ice cream sample inning as Sal gets a free lick off Stro. 1-0 Brewers, but that was the last lead they'd see. Captain, fire the torpedo! Another home run for Judge. It's 2-1 Yanks. 3-1 with a side of rice. Big Ben goes second deck, and it's all sweet music as Jazz goes yard. It's 5-1 Bombers. Former Yankee Jake still rakes as Bauer goes big fly. 4.2, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, and a very Stroman start. But nothing matters when you score double digits every game. Wild pitch, ground out, single, sack, fly. You won't see tweets about that. The small ball Yanks plate 4 more. It's 9-3, but make it 12. Buy one, get one on Jazz Night in the Bronx. Second homer of the game. The Bombers are back. Stroman to Hill to Leiter to Cruz to Yarby. Yankees sweep the Brewers, win 12-3 final. They score 36 runs in 3 games. Oh, spit in my mouth. Let's go Yanks.
I tweeted about the small ball. I loved it. The free lick line, little too sexy for me.
Ice cream sample inning. I mean, free lick for me. That's as PG as you're getting.
Wow,
I can't tone it down more than that.
I think it was like Sal free lick Stroman's ball or something like that.
See, that would be. I think you just went 2 red flags on me.
I was just repeating.
I was that yellow flag with a dot on it.
I was just repeating what I thought I heard.
No, man. I don't.
Hey, man, this game's awesome. I think the bigger story here is that the defense was better.
Yeah.
And that the bullpen was like a breeze of a showing for Tim Hill and Leiter Jr. And then obviously you have all the offense, and I think there's going to be a lot of wards on the offensive side of the ball. The other thing about managerial decision is Trent Grisham comes in again for Dominguez. And they talked about it on the broadcast a lot, and Girardi was saying, no, this is actually this is nice. If he's gonna screw up during this learning process, we want it to happen when the game's not on the line, right? Because that could hinder the rest of his play and the fans' perception of him much. They compared it to Gary Sanchez, who was having wonderful years as a catcher, but all people talked about was pass balls. So in that, if that's their reasoning, I get it. I like it because in the end of the game, when the score is close, we have the better defense, and we have a really nice defense then. So I like that. Yeah,
but there's the logic there is fine. Again, let's see how that develops during the season, and hopefully be cool if Dominguez gets to a spot where that's something we can forget about in July or something like that. I think the other thing, Aaron Savali on the bump, notably right-handed, and they go back to Goldy leadoff. So, yeah.
Now, I didn't hear any Boone quotes on that, but I would make the assumption that's a bit of a you don't fuck with the baseball gods superstition thing. You set the home run record and put up 20 runs, and then you turn in a new answers to the test the next day. You're kind of, spitting in baseball god's face. I don't know if that's what Boone said in his press conference, but if I was to translate whatever he did say that was a lie, it would be that.
So you wanted Pablo Reyes in the lineup again?
No, that was a correct call.
Okay. So,
but not going back to Wells leadoff, and I am interested to see, is this going to stay? Do they just want to keep Judge third? Because he's like, dude, I like it there.
Right.
I don't know. I think it is. I'm interested to see it. They could flip back to what their plan was and go Wells again, and I would say, oh, it was just a superstitious, we're not going to not run back the same lineup.
Yeah, the other thing that was interesting was Goldy's career numbers against Milwaukee are just awesome, so there's some baseball god stuff. And yeah, the only other thing that was spinning in my head was kind of I don't know, is Paul Goldschmidt's variance this year wider than Wells? That they're hey, if Wells, we kind of know what we have. I guess we don't really know the ceiling, but we hope we know the floor. Goldy, it's kind of hey, if we can tap into good all-star level Goldy and spark him by getting him at the top of the lineup, maybe that's more valuable for this season, but I kind of like your theory a little more.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm fine with both. Boone would never say my theory, or maybe he would. I don't know. I think he might.
We can ask him.
Yeah, we can. We can ask him. All right, let's just do, unless you're going to work it into awards, should we just do bat talk now?
We can do some bat talk. Let's do some bat talk.
Because I've read a bunch of articles today to make sure I am knowledgeable on the situation. And for everyone tuning into Bat Talk, please skip forward to 40 minutes, 35 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
The Yankees debuted torpedo bats. They have our bats. If you really have no idea what we're talking about because you were like on vacation, just coming back, the Yankees are using and other teams used them today too across the league, but they're called torpedo bats because you take the weight of the barrel and you move it towards the middle, so then it looks like a bowling pin gets skinny towards the end. Thought process is have the barrel closer to the hands where you hit the ball more. They're actually custom made for each player. Like they found out where Volpe hits the ball the most and then put the thickest part of the bat there. Makes a lot of sense. The Yankees the man getting credit for this name is
Lenny.
Yeah, Lenny. Aaron Leanhart, I think is his full name, Aaron Leanhart. Was an MIT guy and then decided he's like a scientist at NASA or whatever, doing lectures. And then he decided he wanted to get into baseball, started coaching, being a hitting coach, worked his way into the Yankees organization in 2018.
Yeah.
And he didn't get hired to be a scientist. He got hired to be like a hitting coach and analyst. There was big news after 2023 that Judge and Cole said, we need a better person to relay the information to us that the analytics department's coming up with because we don't know how to apply it. That's the guy they tapped into, this guy, Lenny. So in 2024, he got moved into the head analyst, and he was the one relaying all the information. He's no longer with the Yankees. He's with the Marlins this year. He's not currently a Yankee staff member. He was introducing these bats to them for the past couple years, trying to get guys to like buy into it, understand it. Also, we saw someone in the Twins game use it today. Bellinger said that he first started trying it out. The Cubs, they came. When we were at spring training, we saw how it works. And basically, like these bat companies just go to spring training like a roaming farmer's market and just set all the equipment up by the cages so the guys can use whatever they want. And like this has been something they've been letting guys use for a while. The Yankees this year, 4 of them decided to use it. Goldy, Belly, Jazz, and Volpe. And they hit home runs. So it's not just a Yankee thing. It just happened that they hit 9 home runs. Stanton used this bat last year, and an article came out like a week ago that said Stanton's elbow injuries, some are blaming on a new bat he was suggested to use last year. That came out before we found out, and they said, and that employee's no longer with the team. That info came out before we found out about Lenny. So now it's like, oh, they're also blaming Lenny for Stanton. So that's a tough tie-in for him. But so like Stanton used this bat all last year, or not all last year, but last year. So that's like the full scope of it. It's not just a Yankee thing. They just hit home runs, and it was tied to the announcement of the bats. But like other people around the league are using them, and not everyone's using it. I love the concept of the technology.
Yeah, there's a good article last year, NY Post by Greg Joyce, that was about Lenny. And then it's funny, if you look at the internet now, there's everyone in the last 24 hours wrote their article because it was big news all around baseball. And it's a lot of buzzwords for people who aren't dialed in. Yankees, new bat, it's bigger. Like even if
Homers.
if you've played 20 runs, like if you've played any sort of baseball in the backyard, wiffle ball, like, you know, the illegal bat, like, no, you can't use that one. That's got tape on it. Like, so the first time you see the torpedo bat, it's slightly jarring just because you hadn't seen a lot of that. But yeah, there are other players and other teams using it. And yeah, I was having some laughs with some different baseball folk today because this was the buzzword. And for me, I do this with sports. I'd say once a year there's something that pops up and I'm like, And it usually starts for me with the Golden State Warriors figured out a decade ago to shoot 3-pointers because they're worth more points. And they were really good at it, and now the whole NBA shoots threes. The Yankees, it's so funny. How long did it take hitters to be like, what if the bat could hit more? And it's like we had to tap in to some MIT guy to play within the rules to get the meteor part of the bat meteor legally. So if it's in the rules legally, like, yeah, let's dance. And why not? It's kind of the whole point of the game. So I'll be interested to see the discourse that comes after this, to see if baseball doesn't like it, to see how loud pitchers get, but it's legal within the rules, and it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, move the barrel to where you hit the ball. It's pretty smart. The article that you're talking about, the Greg Joyce one from last year, year before this came out, but Kevin Smith had an article saying that they were testing these bats, and Bellinger tested one with the Cubs. Like, Judge was like, what is this? Everyone's using these bats. Volpe had a quote that said it's probably placebo effect more than anything. I don't know if it actually helps me, but it feels good. In that article from a year ago, Lockridge, Brendan Lockridge, was quoted as, from what I understand, they were like, yeah, Lenny gets tasked with searching stuff because he is like the smartest guy here, even though he came in as just like a coach. And Lockridge said, from what I understand, he knew nothing about bats, and in 2 weeks he knew everything about bats. So it's funny that like he was being tied to bats a year ago, but nothing happened. That's how long it's been going on. So torpedo bats, the torpedo Yanks.
Hey, smart guy, go figure this out. Yeah, it's probably going to be our big topic on Talking Baseball tomorrow. It's the talk of the league, and yeah, I know our guy Trevor Plouffe, who we kick to for a lot of hitting topics, he's obviously happy just as a hitter. Like, there's any technology for them to fight back with. And for Volpe, I mean, the one that jumps out to me is he hits a porch homer, and I'd have to look at it again. It felt like it got in on him a little bit. That, I don't know, you start wondering if that was a quote unquote regular bat. Does that different? I don't know. I like that we're doing it, and I'd like the early results.
Me too. All right. Bat talk commenced. Or no, ended. Or commence. Does commence mean to start?
And then commenced means done?
I don't know.
Beebs, you majored in Latin, right?
I would think it, I think you're saying we commenced it. We did it. That's probably not the way you would use that word. But in context, I think everyone knew what you meant.
I think it's start
I agree with what
only.
Beeb said. I didn't say it correctly, but
Yeah.
everyone knew what I was trying to say.
Commence.
We did the commencement of it.
Antonym, that means the opposite, right?
Yes.
Commence and conclude. That concludes the topic.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's move on to the second half of the show, which are the awards. Brought to you by DraftKings.
Ooh. It's a big DraftKings weekend. Baseball. College basketball had a big weekend. I did pretty good with the DraftKings Sportsbook, and you can too. Get in on all the action with our friends from DraftKings right now. All new customers who bet just $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you use code Yanks. Me, John, and BBD. So there's pitch speed in there, and sometimes if you know what's going on, you can find yourself in a nice situation. And if you can bet on that, that means there's a lot of other stuff you can bet on. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use code Yanks. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code Yanks only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Yeah.
I get to go first here.
Yes.
On Pride of the Yankees.
Yes.
And I was a little bummed out because this is a series where everyone can get pride.
Right.
But then I thought that's not fair.
Right.
I shouldn't get cute with
You
it.
can't pick multiple.
And I can't pick multiple, Jake.
No.
I would never do that.
Pride of the Yankees.
I am taking Aaron Judge. He's
Ah.
the captain of the Yankees.
Gotcha.
He hit 4 home runs.
Oh.
He has a .545 batting average and a .643 on base percentage, 3 walks. So I thought it'd be tough to not take Aaron Judge. He's slugging maybe 7.895. I haven't looked at it in a while. So I'm going to just take the easy one and the proud one and the captain of the Yankees, Aaron Judge. He's hitting these balls like it's August 10th. and they're just flying out. It's cold today.
Yeah.
That was an easy swing.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah, for me, this Judge opening weekend was kind of like if I've never seen the TV show Dexter, but what people tell me about it, spoiler, is that Dexter picks up one of the killer's character traits every season, and that's like a nice touch of the show. Sorry for if that ruins something for people. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to watch
Also married
it.
to his sister. They got divorced. She's now married to Avett Brothers.
Tough. It was not your fault but mine. That's why they wrote that song.
Mumford and Sons.
For me, Judge, every year we've kind of noted there's like, and it's gotten to the point that it's been like one weak spot, that it was low and away sliders one year. I think it was changeups bothered him one year, or changeup like split type pitches. Last year, the only weakness for Judge was April. And we came up with different theories about, is it when Judge has a gap between games because he got a slow start in the postseason, and it looked like he was getting better as each postseason series went on. So I think Judge is like one of his few goals of this offseason to get better was have a good start, and he did that the best way possible. And the Brewers, again, shout out to my crew. They love hooking Judge up with homers.
Yeah. Then they decided to walk him.
Right.
Scored every time they did.
Right. Yeah, that one today was tough. Like, okay, yeah, this is a good spot to walk him. 2 outs, why bother? Jazz, bang.
2-strike Jazz.
Come on. Come on.
Crazy. So that's my pride of the Yankees. And now you get to give out your pride of the Yankees. And there's some good options, Jake. I don't know if you're going to get cute or you're just going to go chalk. And I also don't know what chalk is.
I think there's one thing that's closest to chalk, but I also kind of want to give them my award, so I don't. But then you've got first dibs on award, so am I blocking myself twice here? Who made me the most proud? Proud to be a Yankee.
And I'm proud to be a Yankee. Where my bat's a torpedo.
Jim, you know what I like. I'm going to go with Cody Bellinger.
What?
Cody Bellinger. So, did I take one of your awards? That's what that reaction was. Damn.
Yeah, and also
Damn.
Jazz in a landslide.
Jim. Oh, so you said there was no favorites. Cody Bellinger, tied for second most RBI in this series. Cody Bellinger, 3 straight games with a sacrifice fly. That's Yankee baseball. Ask Joe's McFly. It's not all torpedoes and homers. I also love the ball he went back at and got today at the wall. My center fielder, he's also kicking over to left field, which is a conversation we didn't know. We didn't know if Trent was going to get run out there, and then we looked at the spring games, and Trent had only played center. And there's part that I liked before the season was, hey, do we have Cody Bellinger just play left field because he's pro and show and he can handle that, and let Dominguez get settled in center? They didn't do that. They want Cody in center. They want Dominguez in left. He's sliding over. And I love myself a Yankee center fielder. So OBP gets hurt because of the 3 sack flies.
It's true. Yes, I was going to give him an award.
Sorry.
So, no, it's good. Beebs has a lot of footage and stuff prepped. It was going to be an audio award, so I feel like we could still run it, Beebs, if you want. It was going to be the Honus Wagner Award. And then, if you have it,
Honus Wagner.
that was going to be too hard for you to guess. So I was going to give you a hint of this audio.
Wow.
And yet I think Honus Wagner was a typical ball player or the manager's ball player, because he was always thinking of winning and doing what he could for the other fellow and for himself and for his manager and for his ball club and for the fans.
And that's Lou Gehrig talking about a ball player's ball player.
I mean,
a manager's ball player.
It's pride of the Yankees, and you're bringing up Lou Gehrig quotes. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. He deserves it. I mean, talk about a manager's ball player. I mean, Belly's playing left. He's playing center. He bats 2. He bats 3. He didn't give a shit. What other numbers? The sack flies were part of it. Like, that's awesome. 3 sack flies. Also, he before today, I'll check today, he had a 750 batting average on 2 strike pitches.
I like that.
He's also battling 4.1 pitches per plate appearance through today. Just kind of doing everything right. And he hadn't made a good defensive play when I made this, but then that one happened, and I said, Beebs, go grab that. That's good. He's seeing so many pitches.
Yeah.
Like today, he flew out in the first, but it was a 7-pitch at bat.
Yeah, so he had the sac fly to center in today's game in the 7th inning. I want to say his at bat before that. Let me double check. I mean, this is real sicko Yankees stuff, but we're getting back into it, baby. Let's go. His at bat in the 5th inning today, left on left, 2 strikes, a 2-2 count. He had a line drive to left. It happened to be right at the left fielder, but it was everything we've talked about this offseason. It was a different swing. It was a 2-strike ball away that not the. I don't think it's this clip. That's one of the sac flies, but
Similar.
Yeah, it was very similar, and it was again. It's just all these flashbacks to previous Yankee conversations of like, yeah, always get your A swing off, and sometimes it's okay to swing through pitches, and it's like, well. Maybe there's half-truths in there, but also playing baseball is good, and that's defense, that's speed, that's good at bats, that's having a 2-strike approach. Crazy that those things that are such baseball commonalities kind of left the Yankees and the sport for a little bit, but now the Yanks are back at it.
And, dude, and I credit Belly so much because he was I don't know if the numbers really are exactly that, but he was kind of a true outcome guy. Like, he was more swing and miss, big fly.
Yeah.
Like 2-strike approach, battling wasn't really part of it. His first at bat today, and he had averaged 4.1 pitches per plate appearance before today. His first at bat, 7 pitches. His second at bat, 8 pitches, 16 pitches on the starter just from Belly alone. I don't know if Savali was still in there. And then 5, and then 5. So that 4.1 is going to come up a ton. Like he's really doing everything to help the team. His outs are helpful.
So it's like a good pride, you're saying.
I was not upset I was just upset because I prepped the award. Right. It's warranted pride, for sure.
Okay. Note that. Adam Warren's pride.
Adam Warren's pride.
His kids.
Yeah. Probably something that he owns.
Didn't the last time we see Adam Warren, he was getting his like high school retirement, and that came up?
I have no idea.
Okay. It's a big part.
But next up, we have Yankee
motherfucker.
Oh.
Yes. And they swept, but there was 5 errors in one game.
Right.
There was some bad performances. Sure, I can tell you that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players have a batting average of 375 or higher as of right now. But I do see some zeros and some 160s and some low batting averages. So, I mean, we can give out a pride. That being said, I didn't see shit from Brad Osmus.
It felt hollow. The 20
Didn't hear from him.
20-run game felt hollow.
Yeah. So, we doubling up?
Oh, that was my vote. Who are you going with?
No, I'm giving it to BA.
Easy with that.
Bah.
I put AV in a tweet today, and I thought of you.
God damn, dude. Someone else that I liked did it too. So these won. It's that's perseverance at its greatest form. No one calls him that, but now you've done it. I saw someone else do it. It's done. He's AV.
It was the play he made a nice pick at shortstop, and in the first line I called him the kid, so I had to call him something else, and I was like, well, shoot, I guess AV. I don't know.
Damn.
Sorry.
It's all right. You win, you lose.
Sorry, Brad.
That moves us on to regular old awards.
Boom, 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 prestige.
Now, I did prep 2
Okay.
with Beebs. I let him know. This, I will pivot now. I didn't think he was a first slate award guy.
Okay.
I thought he was this, a 3-4 regular old award,
Right.
but I will move it up. It seems weird he gets top billing of the ROEs. This is the Carrot Eater Award.
Carrot Eater.
Carrot Eater Award.
Carrot Eater.
And I could give it to two guys, but I won't.
Carrot Eater.
Carrot Eater Award.
And you think that's a fully legitimate first hint, first episode of the season?
Yeah,
Because the look on your face kind of just said no.
Did I not say this was a 3-4
This was a 3-4.
award?
That's on me. That's on me.
The first award, I had an audio clue ready for you. That's how gentlemanly I was being.
The Carrot Eater Award. The Carrot Eater Award. Ben Rice.
No, not Ben Rice.
Okay.
It does go to AV, Anthony Volpe.
Okay.
He's got the torpedo bat.
Sure.
He told us he's going to swing for homers. He hit 2 homers.
Yeah.
Not the most impressive thing he did. He did make a phenomenal pick over the bag at second. Ball took a funky hop, snagged it. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Not the most impressive thing he did.
Okay.
Most impressive thing was the amount of pitches, but this was pretty impressive. Here we go. That's the play right there. That were out of the zone that he did not swing at. Like, it's crazy. So after the first 2 days of the season, he had the lowest chase percent in baseball, right there with Soto. He had seen 30 pitches out of the zone. He swung at 3 of them. One of those 3 swings, he hit it for a home run.
Okay.
Now, today, he bumped it up a little bit. He swung at, I believe, 4 of 11. So that would be 7 divided by 41, which brings you to a 17% chase rate. I don't know what his would be in the past. I can look it up real quick. But commanding the zone is something he's supposed to be able to do.
Right.
Something Boone always talks about him doing. It's something that he did well in the postseason. And Judge, in his postgame comments about Volpe, said, when you're really aggressive like that, you actually end up taking more. And it's that yes, yes, no philosophy.
True.
And it is kind of true. It's when you're like hesitant that you might swing because you're scared. So it's could be just a mindset, aggressive mindset. But I thought that was awesome. The Yankees as a whole were really phenomenal at this. As a team, they have a 19% chase rate, and the next highest is like 25 or something. I don't know. But I was really happy to see that because aggressive is scary. But if you're also going to have that discipline, it's awesome. His career chase percentage is 28, and last year it was 29. Right now it's 17.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome opening weekend for Volpe coming off the World Series. And again, still hits the young note. He's still 23. He turns 24 in a few weeks. But yeah, I started doing after today. I was like, okay, how good was Volpe's start last year? And through 16 games, he was 1 dot in OPS wise.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, baseball is a constant game of adjustments. Hey, maybe the light bulb's just gone off and controlling the zone, and maybe like we've asked for Volpe, what's your one defining trait as a hitter? And maybe it is controlling the zone. That's kind of what we were told it was. I guess the thing I'm excited to see, and I don't know if it's going to be the Arizona series coming up or if it's going to happen in 2 weeks, but the adjustment to that is pitchers are going to come at him. If you stop chasing, we're going to be in the zone, and that's when that's when we're going to find out. I'm not going to be that dramatic because Volpe's going to have ups
No,
and
that's
downs
exactly what happened the last 2 years. When they moved him to leadoff in front of Soto and Judge,
Right.
he got nastiest pitches in the zone, and everything went to shit. So you're right. There is a counter to this, but this is a better way to start the season.
Yeah, and hey, if the whole lineup is clicking, maybe there's not a rush to get him up there. Maybe we finally hit the point where we're clamoring to get him up there at some point. But yeah, great start from Volpe, and yeah, let's see what it looks like.
All right. Congrats.
Great award.
Carrot eyes. Carrots are good for your eyesight. Duh.
See, that's
You eat carrots to help your eyesight.
for
Everyone
me.
knows
That's
that.
an award 5-6 hint.
Everyone knows that.
It's an award 5-6 hint. great first award, Jim. I'm giving out the Johnny Two Phones Award.
Ooh. What's that a reference to?
It's the song of the summer. I don't know. BBD, do you know my guy Johnny Two Phones?
I feel like I do, but nothing specific's coming to my brain.
Viral social media post, song of the summer. Johnny Two Phones, Yankees Baby. Nikki Cass made an appearance. Little Mozzarella. Our guy Courage was in there. It's the hype song of the summer. Maybe Beebs can get tabs on it. By Johnny
The
Two
Yankee
Phones.
song?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jazz.
Yeah, it's Jazz Chisholm. So you get a free one. Note that. And that was why I passed on him for the Pride of the Yankees. This is the type of moment you remember for life. Changes on the life friend on my right. Play that Frank Sinatra every night because I'm a Yankee, baby. He's absolutely loving this. And they were talking on the broadcast, and we've heard a lot about Jazz Chisholm from the Marlins days, and there was some points to Jazz, probably some points not to Jazz, as he was a young guy figuring it out on the major league level. But Girardi was telling the stories how he's a sneakerhead, and guys were messing with his shoes, and I think they put milk in his shoes. And again, probably a bad time if you're Jazz and you're on the Marlins and you're losing. And by the way, you're like one of 5 actual major league guys on the team. But we talked about it all last year. I think he's had the same amount of multiple homer games as a Yankee than he did in his whole Marlins career. And man, the guy is having fun. He looks awesome. Second base, the hot shots that we saw when we did his player profile and projection, he was really good on those. And yeah, he had a massive series, 3 homers. It's crazy. He falls into that bucket. If Aaron Judge didn't exist, like Jazz probably would have opened the show. Massive series, found the porch a couple times. Both teams play at the same stadium, so that's fine. And he just looks like he's having an absolute blast.
He is.
Because he
was having fun
baby.
Seeing Bauers hit players more than hit home runs.
He was one of
them.
them.
I will say his first home run in the game on Sunday today was the swing that I've been saying I think he just accepts. I don't know if we have that video of that home run, but that was that easy power DD swing and talk about. If you just hit the ball with your swing, you'll find that porch. You don't need to sell out. Actually saw him in the 20-run game sell out for power. He went down to a knee, and O'Neill was Girardi was like, now that's the stuff that's really going to make the other team mad.
Right.
And you saw him sell out. It wasn't the best swing, but you see this swing and it's just easy power.
And I mean, a huge home run in this game.
He's got such quick hands, dude, but that's all upper body. He didn't do any crazy thing with his legs or rear back. He just got such quick hands. Yeah.
And that was the at-bat we were talking about before. 2 outs, Judge is up, and they're just all right, it's not worth it. So that makes it from a 3-1 to a 5-1 game, which is very different. And then, yeah, man, he's having fun. He's being Jazz, which if that means he plays like he has as a Yankee, you're looking at an all-star second baseman.
If there's a pimp to player ratio, pimp job of a home run or whatever.
Sure.
What Jazz did on that one where he so posted up, the one Beebs just showed, that's good. But what Leiter did after that strikeout to who he is and what he usually does, I guffawed.
Okay.
I don't know if it's coming up later, but Mark Leiter Jr. struck out the first batter on a low, 2-seamer strike, which I think was a ball, and the ump called it a strike. And he just, he pivoted and stared at the center field and just peacocked.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, all right.
Smart
Goatee Mark's
Jr.
feeling good.
Remember him in the postseason? Big year coming.
Oh, yeah.
Goatee Mark.
Excited. Goatee Mark. Goatee Jazz.
Yeah.
The goats of ease.
The goats.
So now I give it an award.
Yeah.
So now I got to go find, obviously there's a lot of deserving people. Man, there's like a lot of like tricky things I want to talk about, or do we just keep it cookie cutter and stay with, like Goldy deserves talk?
Oh.
Some relievers, some starters.
Yankee baby.
I'm going to go with the PP Fight Award.
Excuse me?
The PP Fight. Letter P. Letter P.
So it's the
Fight
letter P
Award.
twice.
Yeah. This is a little bit more of a deep cut than
Then the carrot one?
no, just like the topic is a little like you wouldn't think it would get brought up because there's so many deserving people to praise, but I think this is more of an interesting talking point. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You basically have it now.
This is overwhelming. I've got nothing. I've got nothing out of you. Although I do remember there was a time in the Yankees chat this weekend when you did use some alliteration of PP and Joe's called you out, but I can't find it. Let's see. The PP chat goes to Paul Goldschmidt.
No.
Yeah.
I think I used him as an example of someone it wasn't. But it goes to Peraza, Pablo fight.
Nope.
The PP fight.
Nope.
Peraza.
Can't do two.
No, I'm giving it to Peraza.
Okay. You said Peraza and Pablo, so that was...
Well, that's the two P's in the award, but Peraza's getting it because he basically sucker punched Pablo Reyes
Right.
with his pinch hit home run.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the starter?
Right.
You're the righty platoon? I thought I was the righty platoon. You're the righty platoon? And then he just gets one at bat and hits a homer. And after the errors, that was a knockout blow to Pablo Reyes, the righty platoon for Oswaldo Cabrera. And if not, I might go fight Boone in Peraza's honor. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, I liked the note with Max Fried because it's like, okay, Pablo Reyes made the team. We saw him take batting practice. The numbers versus lefties are very real. That I have some Pablo Reyes interest on this team. Kind of like the last time we talked, I know you guys were kind of on a like, Peraza trade bait. Can he be a part of this team? And like Pablo Reyes, I don't know who he is defensively. The current taste in my mouth doesn't seem too impressive. That Peraza being kind of the backup at a lot of important positions, yeah, I think he kind of got his Waldo'd, ironically, that I think the Yankees kind of know he has value as speeder, a defender, that they put Pablo Reyes in this lineup to be like, hey, how do you really hit lefties? Like, let's see it. The rest of the team went nuts and he didn't. That on Max Fried days especially, like, okay, give me Peraza and let's not even think about it. And yeah, Peraza, I don't know. I've seen him put good swings on balls. I've seen him play good defense. The 1 year he ended up getting run in 2023 was the death Yankees that I still have my heart open for him.
Me too. And he deserves to play like over Pablo Reyes.
Right. The Yankees.
And if they want to see what they got with Pablo now, fine. But him stepping up and just hitting a home run.
Yeah.
And he made some nice plays at third. It was like, okay, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's almost I think he got hurt a little bit by the Yankees not knowing what Pablo Reyes is, that they gave him the nod. So yeah, hopefully Peraza gets a start in there. Let's see. Who are your Diamondbacks throwing at us, Jim? It looks like
Burnsy game 3.
Burns, Gallen, and Kelly. So righty. So let's see what that looks like. Next lefty isn't until Bailey Falter and Andrew Heaney coming up next weekend.
Dog.
Bailey Falter lefty, or is he one of those fake lefties in my head? Bats right, throws left. Nailed it.
Been watching him bat too much.
Yeah.
Last award?
The last award, the most prestigious award of the episode. It goes to the Invisible Man. The Invisible Man. Get a 2 for 2 in, Jim. Come on.
The Invisible Man. Wells?
Ay, Dios mío. Jim, the Invisible Man. Kind of literally, kind of figuratively. Tim Hill.
Oh, wow.
Jim, Tim Hill comes in. Opening day. Before the torpedo yet. Nobody was talking about the torpedo bats when they scored 4 runs on opening day, huh? Tim Hill comes in. 5.1 out of Carlos Rodon. Tim Hill gets out of it in Tim Hill fashion. Gave up a hit. Comes out of the inning. It was a 1-run game. It was 2-1. Yankees end up opening that up and getting the win, and Devin Williams gives us his scary inning. But you look back, you barely even notice it. You remember Mark Leiter Jr. in the 7th and being like, whoa, okay, here's Mark Leiter Jr. in the 7th. Today, Tim Hill comes in. He gets the win, by the way. We love that for him. That was still a 3-1 game. And Tim Hill comes in and gets Christian Yelich on 3 pitches. So this weekend that's, excitement. The Bronx Bombers are back. We're scoring double-digit runs every game. 2 big pivot points of the first and third game. Tim Hill came in, did his thing, and today he was 1.1 innings, 3 strikeouts. I don't even remember that. The Invisible Man.
He was breezy. I did dishes while he was pitching. I was watching on my phone. It was just like, there's nothing.
Body type and the pinstripes kind of invisible.
That's why he hops. He wants to make sure he's seen.
That's
Easter's coming up.
What was that?
That'd be nice. Easter's not coming. It's the latest Easter in the history of the world.
Yeah.
I was a little bummed when I realized all these wins are in March. So when you go to Baseball Reference for the end of time, and you're like, how was their April? It's going to be like, well, they were this. Oh, we got to add the 3. And if you add the 3 wins in March, then it's going to be, and then you got to, unless Baseball Reference says the April-March slash line, that would be nice.
I believe they typically do.
Okay, that's good. It's great news. Obviously, a lot of guys we didn't get to talk about more in depth because when you score a bajillion runs and you hit 15 home runs, there's more to discuss. But it's opening series, and they won a lot, so we're limited. We do have a new segment called Does This Matter? We ran this in the spring training an episode, and we're going to try and bring it back just so we can get some more stats out there for the people. And Jake's going to tell you if this stat matters or not. I only have 4 on the docket today.
Okay.
So we can pause and discuss if you'd like. Does this stat matter or not, Jake? Carlos Rodon only threw his 4-seam fastball 25% of the time, the lowest in a game since 2018.
This stat matters. They talked about it on the broadcast. Carlos Rodon mixing in some sinkers, changeups as well. A couple of the first pitch curveballs that we've seen, but I think he talked about it after the game, and he said I think hitters just realized if it was high, it was a 4-seamer. If it was low, it was a slider, and it's like, okay, that's I think hitters can adapt to that. So the sinker. There's a couple sinkers that looked like changeups. And just, I think, having that different movement instead of the ride of the 4-seamer, I think that can be a weapon. And, we're seeing an evolution from Carlos Rodon, who had a good year last year, and nobody before the season was slamming the table and was like, no, he's going to have a big year, Rodon. Like, everyone moved on to Fried. Everyone got sad over Cole. Rodon did great.
I agree. Next stat. Does this stat matter, Jake? Brent Hedrick has thrown fastballs 80% of the time this season.
An early pass.
Okay.
Early pass.
Trent Grisham has not missed in 11 swings this season. Every Trent swing has touched ball. Now, let me check today's game.
Every Trent swing has touched ball.
Hit by a pitch, I think, in his only at-bat. I don't know if he swung before that.
Today, that was his at-bat?
I believe that's all he got today.
And
Jake Bauers hit him?
That was against Bauers, so took a ball, got hit.
Yep. So, okay. So he's taken 11 swings. Every single one has touched ball. Foul, put in play, line out, ground out. No swing and miss. No whiffs for Trent.
Can matter.
Okay.
Can matter.
And lastly, Jason Dominguez has chased just 4.2% of pitches out of the zone thus far. I gave Volpe the award for this. I think this is wildly impressive of a young rookie who's trying to make like his name.
Seems like you think that matters.
Yeah.
I think that matters too.
He's seeing like 60% fastballs because pitchers want to improve it, but he's really not chasing out of the zone at all. Like that's the numbers on that, like 4.1%, but the actual numbers are Dominguez has seen 24 pitches out of the zone. He's swung once. It's pretty impressive to be that reserved when it's like your rookie debut, your first time with the team's scoring at a crazy pace. You'd think he'd be like, give me a fucking homer, but he's still controlling the zone.
Having fun, bowing to Judge. Yeah, the from the right side, which, again, that's going to be one of the talking points of this season. It seems like his eye is great. I feel like his takes from the right side are almost better, but I wonder if that's more cautious because maybe he thinks he's better from the left side. I don't know, but yeah, they're good takes. They're yes, yes, no takes.
Jorge Posada came to town and told Booney that the Martian wasn't loading from the right side. It was just top-heavy swing, and he loads from the left side. Boom.
Switch hitter.
I will say, O'Neill, Girardi, I love the tandem. I like O'Neill and Cone, too. But, yeah, hitter-catcher, hitter-pitcher, but, like, they're really knowledgeable. And crazy jokes. How much did you laugh when O'Neill said the tiramisu line?
I had a big weekend with Paul. He got me good today. Who were they? Were they talking about Ascara, or they were talking about one of the young kids? And he was like, you meet a lot of young ball player kids, and you're like, they kind of don't do it for you, but he does. And you're like, Paul, time out, buddy.
Dude, I wanted to go grab the audio of when he said the tiramisu because they came back from commercial, and what was it, like tiramisu in a hat or tiramisu in a?
They're putting it in the helmet
cup.
And
I think.
One of the big new items.
Tiramisu in a helmet? Wow.
Yeah.
Back from commercial, he's just yelling that.
Every day of his life is the first day of his life.
And he said tiramisu weird. I forget how he said it, but it was different.
Tiramisu. I don't know. Brought up Neville today. Caster ripped on him pretty good.
For not being able to get named that Yankee?
Yeah, O'Neill got it yesterday.
Yeah, he goes, it was a 2. O'Neill got it. Name that Yankee's getting harder. How about that?
Yeah, they went back in time.
Doesn't have to be associated with the away team now. So
I like Girardi. I'm blanking on the one today, but yeah, he'll hit some informative notes. I think it's the managerial guys. Like if you've managed a lot of games, him and Buck, you're gonna hear something that you're like, I genuinely don't think I've ever heard that before.
Well, him talking about the Stroman situation, do you let him take this batter, and how it affects the bullpen? I mean, he was all over it. And he's like, well, you want him to get through this because then you don't have to use Hill to the 7th because you want to use him for that lefty lane and you get to save him for later in the game. But if he doesn't, you got to use Hill for this out of the next inning because that's the lane. He's like, and they're going to bring their guys off the bench. He was all over it.
Yeah.
It was very fun to listen to.
Oh, that was the good one. He said they'd like never pinch hit for Frelick or something like that. And I was like, wow, that's a really good piece of information. You'd want to know that as the manager.
Yeah. You would. That's awesome. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, Goldy kind of gets shafted. It was fun watching him play and lead off Goldy. Like that's pretty wild. We got 2 of those in the first 3 games of the season. Ben Rice with good at bats, dude. Like that can be very significant.
Dude, Ben Rice going first to third with ease.
That
whole run where they
kind of just good.
Oswaldo's good. He had walked 2 hits today. And I know it. We keep saying the bop and top and flash and splash and all the fun phrases. And it might seem like it's the whole flash at the bottom part hasn't come to fruition. It's just been kind of more bash than dash. No, it's been less bash than dash and more just bash than bash.
Right.
This is from Manolo, who messaged you. Bop then hop.
Right.
Just
like
been
that.
bop then hop bop. But that's actually not true. It's just been sneaky. Like you said, they manufactured 2 runs today on speed. And then they got more later when Rice went first to third. Scoring on sac flies. Like, it has been, I don't know if they've stolen a base. I don't know if they have to. Trent got thrown out. But the athleticism did show itself here. Who knows if it lasts the whole year? But they did more between homers than they did last year.
Yeah, I think it's a good reminder, and I don't have the analytics on it, but there's something, there's normal baseball player who doesn't get defined by their athleticism. The example I'll use is Ben Rice. Ben Rice is a young man who moves okay. He's not like, you don't look at him and you're like, wow, look at that guy fly. But it's just a reminder, the Yankees have had a lot of guys that their speed hurts. Like, Ben Rice's speed doesn't hurt. Like, if there's a bobble on a double play, he can beat it out. That, there's a handful of Yankees, good and bad, that just didn't have that. And I think over the course of a game, a series, a month, like, you just feel it so much that there's not a lot of guys you look down at and you're like, there's zero clog. How often have we said that? Never?
Not that often. I'm going to give you some guys from a lineup, and you tell me if their speed helped, hurt, or neutral. This will be the last exercise of the episode. Okay? If their speed helped, or their base running helped, hurt, or neutral. Anthony Rizzo.
Hurt.
Luke Voigt.
Hurt.
Gary Sanchez.
Hurt.
Gio Urshela.
Hurt.
Gleyber Torres.
Hurt.
Giancarlo Stanton.
Hurt.
DJ LeMahieu.
Hurt.
And for how much I say I'm never talking about the 2021 Yankees ever again, here they come up again.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy. That was the whole lineup.
Yeah, there's a lot of these guys have other skill sets that allow them to be Major League Baseball players. But I mean, Donaldson, Trevino, like they're.
Oh yeah, but even recently, I mean, last year Gleyber, Soto,
right,
Verdugo,
like even. I mean, I know Soto's not a great base runner, but his like max speed on like a single to left center is like baseball player. Where
kinda, I mean, he like was like the bottom 5 in base running.
I know.
But last year, Verdugo, Rizzo, Gleyber, Soto.
Verdugo very close to negative.
Trevino, he didn't get that much run. Even Wells,
right? I
would say neutral.
Yeah, for the position it's a plus, but he's neutral. Paul Goldschmidt is neutral. Like we've done this around the lineup. There's no clogs.
It's nice. It's a good way to start. Thank you very much for tuning in to the first series recap here on Talkin' Yanks. If you haven't subscribed, that's something you could do. That's nice. We got some nice merch in the merch shop. We got the Substack for exclusive content. We'll have Booney on Tuesday, and we love you. Goodbye. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.
Boom, 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 boom.